I hope you all are having a great day. Well, it's still early in the morning here in Switzerland, but I decided to make this video right away since I don't have any schedule for this morning. So today I'm gonna share to you the fermented foods I am eating and drinking. And well, the fermented foods are considered as probiotics. They are probiotics. They contain probiotics. And aside from probiotics, the fermented foods, I'm gonna show you also some of the prebiotics I take with the probiotics. So like the food for the probiotics, and I'm gonna discuss to you why and when I started taking all these foods. So first, we start with why am I eating or taking fermented foods? So for my previous videos, you know that for you who watched my video, you already know that I suffered from gastrointestinal problems, and it made my life really awful. And it's not a normal gastrointestinal problem. Well, there are some people who will uh, tell you that it's just an acid reflux, it's just a simple um, tummy aches, and it will pass and it will be gone as days pass. So it's not like that. So it's not like that. It's really terrible. When you had LPR, GERD, um, bacteria overgrowth, and other, I don't know, ulcers and other gastrointestinal problems all at once, you won't say that it's just a simple acid reflux. You don't know how it feels to like wake up daily feeling like you just want to die and you just want to finish all the sufferings you're feeling. I mean, feeling all the bad symptoms you have. It's really terrible. So I had this experience waking up. My throat was so sore, and I have the lump on my throat. I already took lots of water. I already avoided sweet foods and all the possible triggers, but then you just wake up and you still have that annoying lump in your throat. So it's not funny at all. And there are also times wherein you just can't sleep because you're suffering from like anxiety. You don't know, you're scared that maybe while you are sleeping you'll have like a heartburn or an attack of acid reflux, and then the next day you're gonna wake up feeling awful again. So it's not really easy. It's really like it's really a serious problem. It's a serious condition. And when I first had it, um, I started, the first symptom I felt was really the lump in my throat, and then after that, I started feeling all the other symptoms. I got lots of symptoms, and I think I discussed it for my first video. So it's really hard because I had it September, and then imagine I thought I will be healed right away because I went to like four doctors, and all they did was to prescribe proton pump inhibitors and other antacids. But that's not the case. You will not heal as long as you will not, as long as you won't know the root cause. As long as you don't treat the root cause, you will not heal. So that's what happened to me. I followed the doctor's prescriptions. I took the antacids. I took proton pump inhibitors, but they made my case worse. Until it came to the point that I developed all food sensitivities. I cannot eat everything or anything. I mean, I cannot eat anything. All the foods or drinks I was taking that time will create like a reaction on my body. So I became lactose intolerant. I cannot digest gluten. I cannot digest meat. I became allergic to all foods, and the only foods I the only food I was eating that time was like banana. I think just banana. That's the only food that I won't have any reactions at all. And then I started to try squash. And when I found out that I don't have any reaction to squash, then I just do like an alternate. I eat squash, banana, squash, banana. Imagine for how many weeks I'm just eating squash and banana because I'm afraid to eat foods because I don't want to suffer. It's really hard. You'll have chest pains, chest tightness, your throat burning. I don't know because the doctor told me that I should avoid all trigger foods, um, foods that are sour, citrus, alcohol, chocolates, carbonated drinks, greasy or fatty foods, fried foods, preservatives, preserved foods, all shitty or trash foods that we know are generally unhealthy. So I avoided all those foods, all those drinks, but still I'm not getting better. I wasn't getting better. So I was thinking, so what was wrong? I was already following my doctor's advice. I was taking the meds, but still I'm feeling awful every day, and it felt like my symptoms were just getting worse and worse and worse daily. So then I started doing research because it was already like over 2 months. I thought I will be healed actually just 1 week, but then it already reached like 2 months, and still I'm feeling um, awful every day. So that's the time I started to really make a journal. Like I write down all the foods I'm taking daily. I wrote it all down, so I'm tracking which foods were causing symptoms, which foods were good for me, or drinks were that are good for me, and then I was also tracking the supplements. The supplements I took before because I got lots. And as a remembrance, I still have them here. You see, a lot, a lot of supplements. And then I also started doing research about gastrointestinal problems, LPR, GERD, acid reflux, and all. So I already tried all sorts of diets. So I did the low FODMAP, I did the elimination diet, I did vegan or vegetarian diet, um, no gluten diet, no carbs diet, all sorts of diets. So I tried it just to heal myself, but it didn't work. And then finally I found the article on Google. I just found it on Google, like a Cultured Food Life article, and there um, it discussed that the fermented foods can help you strengthen your immune system. And so I was thinking, since I already tried all the diets, I already did everything that I can do to heal myself. So there's no harm in trying another method because I already tried everything. So I was really desperate to heal myself. And then I found there the Milk Kefir. That was Milk Kefir was and still is my number one. So I found the benefits of Milk Kefir. So that's the first one. Yes, Milk Kefir. So I'm taking Milk Kefir. So there I read that Milk Kefir, you can even search it online, the benefits of Milk Kefir. So Milk Kefir contains lots of good bacteria strains that our body needs to function well. Compared to a simple yogurt, the yogurt we usually buy in the market, it only contains around two to three or 2 to 4 strains of live active good bacteria. And I read also that the bacteria we can get from yogurt usually just lasts for like 24 hours or few days in our system, in our body, and it will be flushed out. So it won't grow and multiply inside our gut. While the Milk Kefir contains the bacteria strains that will grow and multiply in your body, especially when you take also prebiotics. So these good bacteria are called probiotics, and they also like plants or other like plants, they also need like fertilizers to grow or to become healthy. So once you take probiotics, of course, if you want to strengthen those good bacteria, if you want them to multiply in your gut, you also need to feed them prebiotics, or what they call the fiber. But not all, there are lots of fiber foods, but not all contain prebiotics. So that's it. So I have my Milk Kefir, and the Milk Kefir is a fermented milk. So you use the kefir grains, we call it grains, but it's not really a grain, but it looks like tiny cauliflower grains, like jelly cauliflower beads, or I don't know. So using those white grains, the Milk Kefir grains, you can make your own Milk Kefir. So it's very easy. I showed it on my previous video, how to ferment Milk Kefir. So I drink this every morning. When I was sick, I was drinking this like 3 times a day. But I started with small dosage because I read that you might experience healing crisis when taking really high probiotic foods or drinks. And since my gut was in chaos, so it was a total wreck. I was thinking, okay, my immune system was weak that time, and I was really so sick. So I really had already like a feeling that once I take Milk Kefir, I will experience the healing crisis, and I was right. So also from my previous videos, I discussed about the healing crisis I felt. But that's part of healing. It's just like when you have an open wound, of course, if you put like an ointment or a cream or a medicine on an open wound, it would hurt. So there's always a reaction when you try to cure something, or when you try to put like a medicine to a wound. It will make it will create like a reaction. So it's just the same with milk kefir. If your body, if your gut is in a total mess, of course you will put kefir, you will take kefir, then you will feel reactions, or you will feel like you have more symptoms, your symptoms will get worse, something like that. But that's normal. So at first I also freaked out because I thought it wasn't working, and I thought it's just making my condition worse. But I just kept going because I just keep telling myself that I need to heal, and maybe I just needed to give the milk kefir more time to heal my body. So I just keep going and keep going until I felt the difference, and this really healed me. So this is the first one and my top one for the fermented foods I'm drinking or taking. So we have milk kefir. Next is after I think 3 weeks, around 3 weeks taking milk kefir, from the same article and from the same podcast, YouTube podcast, I also read they're taking other fermented foods like fermented veggies will help you also digest the foods you're eating. It will also give you good benefits. It will also help speed up your healing. So I also tried it. I tried eating fermented veggies, and I did it on the around third week after taking milk kefir. So now they are like a combo. I was taking the milk kefir, and I started taking fermented veggies. But I just did it like maybe a spoonful per meal, because fermented veggies also have different bacteria strains. So these bacteria strains, once you intake it, once you intake those bacteria, it can also cause reactions, or you might also feel another healing crisis. So always when taking probiotics, just try little amount or few dosage at first, so that your body won't be shocked with with the good bacteria you are feeding your body. So the first fermented veggie I tried was the kimchi. So it's a Korean food, but you can buy kimchi in lots of stores or in the market. You can also make your own kimchi. It's just that I don't have time to do it, so I just buy in the market. So this is the kimchi, and here it's written fresh vegetables, kimchi probiotics, naturally fermented. So it really contains probiotics, and I'm placing it in a jar. There's this one is a radish kimchi, but there's also the cabbage kimchi, but I just prefer this one. I like radish kimchi more than the cabbage kimchi. So this tastes a bit, of course it's sour. Most of the fermented foods taste sour, and it's a bit spicy. There are kimchis that are really, really spicy, but this one is just mild. So and at first I was eating a different kimchi before, and that one was more spicy than this one. It's much more spicy than this one. And during that time, of course, I was still sick. I was still recovering, um, because fermented foods are also acidic. They're also acidic. So whenever I eat fermented veggies before, right away I would take a sip of water. That's what I do because I had LPR, and the lump on when I started drinking Milk Kefir, the lump on my throat really went away and it never came back. But still, I was experiencing other symptoms that time, like I have the phlegm on my throat. It doesn't go away, so I'm afraid that the lump will go back because when I'm eating fermented veggies and they are acidic, I would feel like my throat will be irritated a bit. So what I'm doing is whenever I eat fermented veggies or drink fermented drinks, so I make sure I drink water, just a sip, of course, not like a whole glass, so just to wash out the acid on my throat. So yeah, so kimchi really tastes good, and I'm just not sure with other people because other people don't find it yummy, but for me, I really like the taste. So yeah, kimchi. It was originally made in Korea. This specific food. So next is the sauerkraut. So it's a fermented cabbage, and it tastes so good. I can't explain it. It's just sour cabbage and it's just yummy, especially when it's the veggie is crunchy. Especially when it's crunchy, because there are some sauerkraut that taste the texture is like it's kind of soft, but I like the sauerkraut that is a bit of crunchy. So this one I'm just buying it in the market. It's a bio sauerkraut, and a raw one, raw cabbage, raw bio cabbage. So this one, you can also make your own sauerkraut. You can just search on YouTube or in the internet on how to ferment your own sauerkraut. It's just that I actually want to ferment my own, so I won't buy all this in the market. It's just that I don't have time, of course, and you also need lots of patience and you need to exert effort doing all this stuff. But yeah, since I don't have the time, I just buy them in the market, and as much as possible, I make sure the one I'm buying, the fermented foods I buy are with like a bio seal or like a bio stamp, something like that. And next I have the miso. So it's fermented soup. So this one is a instant organic soup. This one has white miso with pumpkin, and this one is red miso with tofu and ginger. So you can buy this also in the market. It's a soup, really delicious soup, and it can make you feel full right away. And it also contains a lot of good bacteria too, and it's really good for the gut. You can buy a miso paste in the market, but this one is already like powdered organic soup. So miso. Sometimes when I'm making my miso, because before I bought like the miso paste, I'm putting like I'm adding like cabbage. Can also add the seaweed, because in some restaurants they really use seaweeds for miso. But what I'm doing, because I don't like seaweeds that much, So what I'm doing is I'm just putting different vegetables like carrots or spinach, something like that. So it's really delicious. You have to try this. And then next, olives. I really love olives. I'm just eating it like a snack. So yeah, it's a fermented olive, and yeah, it just tastes so good. I just eat it like a snack or when I feel hungry, but I already ate my lunch or I already ate dinner. Like when you're craving for something and you know it's bad to eat like at night. So I'm just gonna grab olives. So yeah. And next and the last one is kombucha. So it's a fermented tea, and this one can also help detoxify your body or cleanse your body. So this one is a fermented tea, and with milk kefir you use milk kefir grains. With kombucha you use like a SCOBY. It's like a circle jelly thing. So you can also do it. I mean, you can also ferment your own kombucha, but it also takes time. It takes longer fermentation compared to the milk kefir. So I just decided um, to buy it online or to buy in the market because it's easier for me or more convenient for me. But um, when you buy kombucha in the market, you have to check the ingredients too, because there are some with really high sugar contents, so that's not good. Especially when you're still healing yourself, because when I got sick before, I cannot eat sugar, so I did like a no carbs diet, no sugars diet, because I also have this bad bacteria overgrowth inside my gut. So those sugars are also served like food for them. So it's not good, and you you will just make things worse when you intake lots of sugar. So you have to be careful and check the contents. I find it actually funny because before, when I'm going to the market to buy my foods, all I'm doing is just when I see the name or the product and I find it interesting, I'll grab it right away. And that's it, I'm gonna buy it. But now, after I got sick, whenever I buy something in the market, right away I'm gonna check the ingredients, the contents at the back, or the how do you call this? Like the how they made the food, what are the contents, and also the nutrition facts. So I'm reading it. I became so conscious that I like to check everything to make sure it's good for me. So it's really funny, but it's actually good, because then you will also know if the foods you're taking are really good for you. So yeah, so whenever you buy a kombucha in the store, make sure you check the sugar contents. It's better if it's organic, so, and no added sugar. This one, the what I'm buying right now is the Captain Kombucha. So this is a naturally fermented living tea. It's vegan. It has 100% natural ingredients. It's very low in calories. It's a living food because of the probiotics, the good bacteria. It's never from concentrate. It is organic, no preservatives, gluten-free, and no artificial flavors. Nothing artificial. So it's all written here. You can just search it online. Captain Kombucha, and I like the original flavor and the one with ginger and I think raspberry. So yeah, so those are the fermented foods and drinks I'm taking. And before, I also tried the water kefir. Water kefir somehow tastes like iced tea, like sour iced tea, something like that. So it's like kombucha. Some not exactly the same, but somehow the tastes are related, like near. So I also tried water kefir. You use a different grains for it. Milk kefir grains got this white color or like yellowish white color, while the water kefir is like a transparent grains, like white transparent not white, transparent grains. So that's it, but the shape and the texture is exactly the same with the milk kefir. It's like jelly. So that's it. So I also tried it, but the problem with water kefir, just like kombucha, is it also takes more time. I think as far as I can remember, it's like 2 days fermenting the water kefir. And the problem with water kefir is that compared to the milk kefir, the lactose in the milk, if you're using like the usual milk, the cow's milk or goat's milk with lactose, the lactose in the milk are serves as the food for the bacteria. So this bacteria from the milk kefir grains, they eat up all the lactose in the milk. That's why it's the result will become like it's sour or yogurt taste. So that's already the content of the milk kefir. You don't have to add sugar or anything. It's simply just the milk and the milk kefir grains, and that's it. But for the water kefir, the problem is that you need to do a mixture of water and sugar, because of course the grains, the bacteria from the grains need the sugar as the food so they can do the fermentation process. So you need to add sugar, like organic sugar or brown sugar, to the water and wait for like 2 days for it to ferment. But if you don't ferment it properly, then the sugars in that in the water won't be eaten all up. So the tendency is you will just drink sugar too. So it's not good, especially when you're still in the healing phase. So you have to ferment it properly and you have to be careful with it. That's why I stopped. I stopped fermenting water kefir because it takes a lot of time. But it tastes really good and it's also carbonated. It's like you're drinking a soda or something. It's also delicious. So it's good. It's just that you really need to ferment it properly. I can ferment it properly, but I also don't have to wait for like 2 days. Unlike the milk kefir, I can just have it like in one day, or sometimes it only ferments like 8 hours for me when I place it near the heater, or when I add lots of grains in just one jar. For this one, I think the grains I added are up to here. So it's really a lot, so it ferments fast. So I don't have to wait long and I'll have my milk kefir right away. So yeah, so those are the fermented foods and drinks I'm taking. And yeah, basically the taste is there's like a sour taste because of course they are fermented. So yeah, and I like eating fermented veggies or fermented foods and drinks every meal. Like for example, for lunch I'm gonna grab like spoonful of sauerkraut, or spoonful or few cuts of the radish kimchi, or sometimes I take few sips of kombucha every meal because they also help me digest my food easily. So that's really good. Or sometimes I just at night I just drink miso soup. So I eat miso soup, so it's really good for digestion. So those fermented foods and drinks are probiotics. Now we also need prebiotics so that these the good bacteria we are intaking will grow and multiply inside our body, and they will work faster, and they can do their task inside your body faster and more efficiently. So I'm eating plums, dried plums, because it is, plums are high in fiber. So yeah, having plums and other fruits like strawberries, bananas, and other berries. So they're all high in fiber, and they got prebiotics contents. And I just don't have it right now, but I'm also eating nuts like almonds because they also have fiber. They also contain prebiotics. And another one is I'm also taking chicory tea and chicory coffee. So they are prebiotic, acid-free, caffeine-free, and gluten-free. And the taste is somehow like coffee. Since I cannot drink coffee because it's my trigger. I discovered that coffee is my trigger, so I cannot, even though I am already healed, whenever I drink coffee, I will feel like my throat is having phlegm. So I mean, my tummy won't react, but my throat will react because of my LPR. So I mean, there's no lump. The lump won't be there, but you will feel like my throat is will be irritated, or will have the mucus. So I just stopped drinking coffee after discovering that it was my trigger. So instead, I'm doing a coffee alternative. So chicory is a coffee alternative. I have the coffee version, and there's also a tea. So yeah, both are caffeine free. They are acid free, and they are prebiotic. So yeah, so it's written here that prebiotic, the inulin content, because you can find inulin in the chicory. The inulin is a soluble fiber in chicory, and also dandelion roots. If you'll see like dandelion roots tea, that's also good. You can also find inulin in dandelion roots. They support good health, your gut health, to improve digestion, elimination, and immune system. So they can also help strengthen your immune system. Aside from the probiotics that you're already taking to boost your immune system, taking prebiotics will add up to that. So it's really good. And I'm also taking like fiber snacks like crackers. This one is gluten-free. Gluten-free, lactose-free, no milk. Yeah, that's it. So it's really good because even though I can already tolerate gluten, foods with gluten, as much as possible, I'm still trying to eliminate gluten from my diet. If I'll find like snacks with gluten free, right away I'm gonna grab it. So if I find, and also with lactose, for example, I find foods with lactose free, I grab it. So I can already I'm no longer lactose intolerant. I can already tolerate gluten because I'm already completely healed. But still, since I know that those were the things that made me worse before, or my body was reacting to those foods before. So until now, I'm still trying to avoid them. So yeah, so those are the the foods and drinks, fermented foods and drinks I am taking, and until now I'm still taking them daily. I make sure I drink my this one Milk Kefir. I never miss my Milk Kefir. There are days when I don't eat kimchi or my sauerkraut or all this stuff, literally all. I There are days wherein I couldn't eat them. It's not like I don't like them, but I just don't have time, or some circumstances wherein I cannot really eat them for that specific day. But I make sure that daily I have my milk kefir. Early in the morning when I wake up, my routine now is early in the morning I'm gonna have like warm lemon water, and then I'll just wait for like 30 minutes or an hour, and then I'm gonna drink my milk kefir, 1 cup of milk kefir, and then at night, after eating dinner, I'll just wait for it to digest like 3 hours before I sleep. I'm still doing what I'm doing before when I was sick. I'm still waiting for my food to digest. I will only sleep 3 hours after, or sometimes more than 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours after dinner. That's what I'm doing. I got used to it. So after eating dinner, I'll just wait for like 3 hours, and then I'm gonna drink again a cup of milk kefir, and then I'm gonna wait 30 minutes. Minimum is 30 minutes, then I'm gonna go to sleep. So that's my routine right now. So yeah, I hope you guys the, those who experience the same gastrointestinal problems like me, those of you who still have it, I hope you will heal soon. And I'm not telling you to really do exactly what I'm doing, but I just want to help. I just want to help you guys, because I know that it's really hard to have GERD, LPR, acid reflux, or whatsoever gastrointestinal problems or disease. It's really hard. I've been there and I know the feeling, how terrible it was to have it. So I just want to share my experience. I just want you to try. I mean, there's no harm in trying. If it will really not work for you, if this will not really work for you, then that's fine. At least you tried. I mean, who knows? It might work for you. So you just have to try and try until you heal. That's what I did. And yeah, I hope fermented foods, you can incorporate fermented foods in your diet, because it really helped me, and I got the feeling that it will help you all too, because technically they're all good for the gut. I mean, they contain good bacteria that our body needs. So this bacteria from this, I call them my babies. The bacteria inside these foods or drinks, they really helped me a lot to recover and bring back the balance in my gut. So right now I can already enjoy again the foods that I liked before. So yeah, so that's it. I hope you all have a great day. Again. So I hope you all have a great day, and I really do hope that all the people suffering, or who are still suffering with the same disease I have, or the same sickness I have, will also heal. And I just really feel happy whenever I hear people heal from fermented foods or from milk kefir. So yeah, I hope you learned something from this video, and I will be really happy to hear from you guys. If any one of you would like to try it, I would like to hear from you, your experience. You can share it to me too. So yeah, that's it. Bye bye. Have a great day and stay safe.